Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning. The sun is coming through your window, and for a moment, everything feels normal. But then, slowly, you start to realize something is different. Something is missing. For the first time in your entire adult life, since you were maybe 22 or 23 years old, you owe nothing. No mortgage payment due at the end of the month. No car payment sitting in your online banking app. No student loans lurking in the background. No credit card balances slowly accruing interest. No stress, no weight, no pressure hiding in the back of your mind. Just silence. Complete, total, unfamiliar silence. Now let me ask you something important. Something you've probably never really considered. What would you do first? Would you walk into your boss's office and quit your job, finally free from the fear of losing your income? Would you start something you actually care about, a business, a project, a passion, without worrying about the bills? Would you move somewhere new, somewhere you've always wanted to live, just because you could? Or would you just sit there, confused, almost uncomfortable, because you've never lived without pressure before? Because the weight has been there for so long that you don't know who you are without it. Here's the scary truth that most people never realize until it's too late. Most people's lives are not designed by their dreams. Their lives are not shaped by their hopes, their passions, or their deepest desires. Their lives are designed by their payments. Every major decision, every career move, every risk avoided, every opportunity declined has been filtered through one simple question. Can I still afford my payments? My name is Mike. And today, I'm going to show you something that nobody explains properly, something that changes everything once you see it. I'm going to show you what really happens to your life the moment your mortgage disappears. The moment the biggest payment, the heaviest weight, the loudest noise, finally goes silent. And trust me, it's not what you think. It's not just about having more money. It's about becoming a completely different person. Let's start with something simple. A way to understand what's really happening inside your head every single day. Imagine your brain is like a computer. Not a fancy metaphor, just a simple way to think about mental space and attention. Every bill you have, every recurring payment, every financial obligation is like a tab open in your browser. A background process running constantly, using up mental energy, even when you're not looking at it. Your mortgage is one big tab, always open, always running. Your car payment is another tab, quietly processing in the background. Your student loans, another tab. Your credit card debt, another tab. Your subscriptions, your insurance, your utilities, tab after tab after tab. Now imagine that you can never, ever close these tabs. They're permanently open. Even when you sleep, even on weekends, even on vacation, they're still running. Still consuming mental resources. Still adding to the background noise of your life. That's how most adults live. That's the normal state of existence for millions of people. They don't even notice it anymore, because they've been living like this for years, decades even. The tabs have been open so long that the hum of the computer has just become background noise. It's always been there, so they assume it's normal. But every Sunday night, when the weekend is ending and Monday is approaching, they run the same calculation in their heads. The same anxious mental math. Do I have enough? Did I make it this month? Is everything covered? Not to get rich. Not to build wealth. Not to create freedom. Just to survive. Just to keep all the tabs open for one more month. And here's the most dangerous part, the part that keeps people trapped forever. Nothing is broken. Nothing is obviously wrong. Everything looks fine from the outside. The bills are paid. The life is intact. Everything is normal. Which means there's no alarm bell. No crisis forcing a change. No obvious reason to do anything different. And so you stay stuck. The tabs stay open. The noise continues. Another year passes. then another, then another. Let's break this down in the simplest way possible. Let's use numbers that make it real. Imagine you earn $5,000 per month after taxes. That's a solid income. Above average in most places. Enough to live comfortably, you would think. Now, your mortgage takes $2,500 of that. Maybe a little more with property taxes and insurance included. That's already half your income. Half your life. Half your monthly energy gone before you do anything else. Now add food. Groceries, maybe some takeout, coffee, lunches. Another $600. Add transportation. Car payment, insurance, gas, maintenance. Another $700. Add utilities. Electricity, water, internet, phone. Another $400. Add insurance. Health insurance, maybe life insurance. Another $300. And suddenly, after all the basics, after all the non-negotiable costs of simply existing in a modern world, you're left with almost nothing. Maybe $500 for everything else. Clothes, entertainment, emergencies, savings. You're not bad with money. You're not eating out every night. You're not buying luxury goods. You're just living a normal, middle-class life. You didn't mess up. You didn't make huge mistakes. You followed the rules that everyone told you to follow. Go to school. Get a job. Buy a house. Be responsible. And still, after all that, after doing everything right, you feel stuck. You feel trapped. You feel like you're running as fast as you can and going nowhere. Why? What went wrong? The answer is uncomfortable. The system didn't break. The system worked exactly as designed. The system is designed to keep you productive, keep you consuming, keep you dependent on your next paycheck. It's not designed to set you free. It's designed to keep the tabs open forever. Now let me change how you see your mortgage. Let me give you a new lens that will shift everything. Your mortgage is not just a payment. It's not just a line item on your budget. It's not just a debt to be paid off. Your mortgage is a permission system. It's a filter that every single decision in your life must pass through. It's the gatekeeper of your choices. It's the invisible hand that guides your path. Think about it. Every time you consider a major life decision, your brain automatically runs it through one filter. Can I still afford my house? Want to quit your job and find something more meaningful? First, check the mortgage. Can you still make the payment if the new job pays less? Want to start a business, take a risk, try something entrepreneurial? First, check the mortgage. Can you afford to have inconsistent income for a while? Want to take a sabbatical, travel for a year, spend time with your kids while they're young? First, check the mortgage. Can you pause your career and still keep the house? Want to move to a different city, try a new lifestyle, simplify your life? First, check the mortgage. Can you sell without losing money? Can you afford to buy somewhere else? You don't even notice this filter anymore. It's become so automatic, so deeply embedded in your thinking, that you don't realize it's there. You just think you're making normal decisions, being responsible, doing what adults do. But your life is being controlled, shaped, and limited by one question. Is this safe enough to keep paying the mortgage? That's not freedom. That's a silent contract you signed without reading the fine print. Now imagine something different. Imagine a different reality. One day, maybe after years of extra payments, maybe after selling and downsizing, maybe after a windfall or a discipline plan, that payment disappears. Not reduced. Not refinanced. Not made easier. Gone. Completely. Forever. The mortgage is paid off. The biggest tab in your browser finally closes. The loudest noise in your head finally stops. What actually happens next? What changes in your life? Most people, if you ask them, will give the obvious answer. They'll say, "I'll just have more money each month. I'll have an extra $2,500 to spend or save." And that's true. That's part of it. But it's the smallest part. It's the surface level. It's not what really changes. What you actually gain is something far more valuable than money. You gain the freedom to choose differently. Suddenly, for the first time in decades, your decisions are not filtered through the mortgage question. The permission system is gone. The gatekeeper is retired. You can leave a bad job, not because you have another job lined up, but simply because you don't want to be there anymore. You have room to breathe, to search, to wait for the right opportunity instead of grabbing the first one. You can try something new, start a side project, explore a passion, without the fear that failure means losing your home. You have a cushion, a buffer, a safety net that wasn't there before. You can take a risk that might not work out, because you now know that even if it fails, even if everything goes wrong, the roof over your head is safe. You won't lose everything. Your income didn't change. You didn't get a raise. You didn't win the lottery. But your decisions, your options, your possibilities are completely different. Because the filter is gone. The permission system is shut down. Now let's talk about the money. Because the money matters too, just not in the way most people think. Let's say you free up $2,000 per month by eliminating your mortgage. That's a reasonable number for many people. If you take that $2,000 and invest it consistently, over time, it becomes life-changing money. Not maybe. Not possibly. Mathematically, inevitably. $2,000 a month, invested for 10 years at an average 8% return, grows to about $350,000. $2,000 a month for 15 years grows to about $650,000. $2,000 a month for 20 years grows to over $1.1 million. That's real wealth. That's retirement money. That's freedom money. But even that, even the millions of dollars, is not the most important part. The real power, the thing that actually changes your life, is this. You finally give time a chance to work for you. Before, when every dollar was needed just to survive, time was your enemy. Every day you worked just to stay in place. Every month you ran just to keep the treadmill moving. After, when the big payments are gone, time becomes your friend. Your money starts growing while you sleep. Your investments start compounding while you live your life. The same time that used to drain you now fills you up. Before, all your money goes to survive. After, your money starts building your future. That's when life shifts. That's when the trajectory changes. That's when you stop running and start flying. There's actual science behind what I'm describing. Real studies that show what happens to people's brains when financial pressure is removed. Researchers have found that when people eliminate debt, when they reduce their fixed obligations, their cognitive function actually improves. They think better. They make better decisions. They have more mental bandwidth for important things. Why? Because that constant background noise, the open tabs, the running calculations, finally stop. The mental energy that was being consumed by financial anxiety is now available for other things. It's like a loud machine running in your house for years. You got used to the noise. You didn't even notice it anymore. But it was always there, vibrating, humming, draining your energy. Then one day, someone turns it off. And suddenly, for the first time, you can hear yourself think. You can hear the birds outside. You can hear your own thoughts. You can focus on what actually matters. That's what happens when you eliminate your mortgage. That's what happens when you close the biggest tab. Less stress. Better decisions. More control. more clarity, more life. So here's what I want you to take away from this video. Here's the one thing I need you to remember. Your mortgage is not just a bill. It's not just a number on a statement. It's not just a debt to be paid. Your mortgage is shaping your entire life. Right now, today, while you're watching this video, it's shaping you. It decides where you work because you need to earn enough to pay it. It decides what risks you take because you can't afford to fail. It decides what dreams you ignore because they seem too uncertain. It decides how you spend your time, your energy, your attention. And the people who escape it earlier, the ones who get out from under the big payment while they're still young enough to enjoy it, are not always the richest. They're not always the highest earners. They're not always the ones with the most impressive careers. They're the ones who understood something simple. Something that most people never learn. Freedom is not about earning more. Freedom is about needing less. It's about designing a life where the tabs can close. Where the permission system can shut down. Where the noise can finally stop. So next time you're lying in bed, late at night, running the numbers again, doing the mental math, feeling the weight, remember this. You won't be doing this forever. This isn't permanent. This isn't the rest of your life. But how long you keep doing it, how many more years of Sunday night calculations you have ahead of you, depends on the decisions you make today. The choices you make now. The priority you give to closing the tabs. You can keep running forever. Or you can start building your escape. The choice is yours. If this video made you see money differently, if it shifted something in your understanding of debt and freedom and what's possible, please hit that subscribe button right now. Because on this channel, we don't just talk about money tips and tricks. We don't just give you budgeting advice or investing strategies. We talk about how to take your life back from the system. How to close the tabs. How to silence the noise. How to build real, lasting freedom. New videos every week. And before you go, before you click away and return to your day, I want you to do one thing. Write in the comments. My freedom starts today. Make it real. Put it out there. Commit to yourself. Because your freedom, your real freedom, the kind where you wake up with no weight, no pressure, no open tabs, starts with the decisions you make today.